A short video to go over our two new aircraft. They're both Mavic Enterprise duals, numbered V34 and V35. The aircraft come in a similar configuration to our other Mavics. There's a controller, the aircraft, a couple of batteries. There's 3 unique accessories that are added that we'll go over later, plus charging equipment. The aircraft itself has a really unique feature in that instead of one camera, there are 2 cameras. There's a visual camera and there's a FLIR camera. You can see the 2 lenses here. This makes this aircraft a really powerful addition to our fleet and gives us capacities that we didn't have before. Additionally, there's a ton of extra sensors on this aircraft. In fact, it has 360-degree coverage all the way around for protection. The controller is similar to a Mavic controller. There's a plug on the side where you can charge it. What's unique is you'll notice there's no sticks on this controller. The sticks are actually stored underneath. Helps keep the aircraft in calibration. You pop the stick out, thread it on, screw it in place. Unthread it, store it back underneath. When you close the panels, it keeps the sticks from falling out. There's an extra set in the case if you lose them. Please let me know. This has a new and improved gimbal cover and lock. It's a one-piece fold open orb that also locks the gimbal in place. You simply slide it underneath the camera, secure it with the 2 latches in front and the single latch in the back. The aircraft powers on just like all DJI products. Press, release, press and hold. You'll notice that the 4 light buttons on the batteries have been replaced by a circle with segments. Turn it off the same way. Press release, press hold. The accessory mount is on top of the aircraft. There's a small panel that holds it in place to cover the universal port. Notice the little tiny tabs. Please be careful when you replace this back onto the aircraft. Gently snap it into place when you're done. There are several accessories. This is an FAA approved strobe. All these accessories mount by simply pressing them down into place and securing the thumb screws. The aircraft flies in DJI Pilot, and you'll notice as soon as you attach the accessory, a small icon appears in the top left corner. That icon gives you control of the accessory. So in this case, the strobe, you touch it once, the strobe starts firing. You touch it again, the strobe goes off. Speaker attachment. The speaker's pretty unique in that you can record one-off messages and play them immediately, or you can play them in a loop, or you can pre-record messages for later use. The speaker's pretty loud. This doesn't do it justice, but this is from 150 feet. This is the spotlight. It's a 2400 lumen spotlight that can be controlled as all the accessories can. This isn't a great demonstration, but you can see that it's incredibly bright. There's a slide bar to control the intensity of the light. One of the biggest assets of the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual is its camera. This is a FLIR and visual light camera in parallel. It uses a process called MSX to overlay the visual images on top of the FLIR. In this image, we're toggling back and forth between MSX and the FLIR. This is taken from about 150 feet and about 150 feet out. You can see the target's fairly obvious. The MSX process really helps though to outline the buildings. This is from about 300 feet, and you'll notice that you can see the target moving on the apron of the fire station, but it's pretty hard to see it. There's not a big thermal signature. That thermal signature you're seeing in the door is from the apparatus bay. So this is from 300 feet altitude and 300 feet distance. This is the thermal image, and you can see that it's a fairly low resolution thermal image, but this is from 300 feet. The MSX really helps. Different color palettes may help with this. You can see in this palette, you can see the target more easily moving on the apron. But again, from 300 feet, this is pretty far away. Since the MSX process uses visual light to overlay onto the thermal image, adding light to this situation really helps the MSX process. This is inside the apparatus bay, toggling on and off the spotlight on the aircraft, and you can see how bright the outlines become and how much easier it is to see the objects. The heater shows a thermal signature, but all the other stuff is pretty difficult to see without MSX. So that's the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual. We recently received 2 of these aircraft. We plan on adding several more. The aircraft will end up being our go-to aircraft in the field, and it should end up on all the battalion chiefs' rigs, hopefully in time for the summer. There'll be additional training on this, and if you have questions, get a hold of myself or one of the shift supervisors.